Welcome to Mr. B's Interactive Text 101, Part 3, the layout of iBooks Author. Now that you've opened iBooks Author and put your images into iPhoto, collected all your research, etc., it's time to actually start making your book. So let's look at the layout of iBooks Author. Now I'm using the craft template that I showed you. Boys, this is just a template. You can do anything you want to this. So you can move everything around. You don't have to stick with what they've put on the template. So if I wanted to move something around, I could drag it somewhere else. Now you'll notice that when I move this, it goes underneath images and text. So if I wanted this picture in particular to be on top, I just right click and then I can send it to different places. So I might bring it forward. And now you'll see it's actually still under this one, but it's on top of this one. You can play around with that, add different effects and so on. I want it over there now. Now if I want to change the pictures, I can just drag a picture in from Pages, but because I've actually imported my files onto iPhoto, I can click on in this area. It's exactly like Pages, Keynote, iWeb and so on. And I can click in here under Photos, iPhoto. I imported twice, I've got double of everything, shouldn't have done. But from here, I can simply drag and drop. And if I want to change the size of it, I double click and I can zoom right in or zoom right out. And so on. Okay, so I can play around with it that way, and same with the text. I can then drag my text in from Pages. Boys, let's actually look at what we've got here, what the layout of iBooks Author is. It automatically gives you a first chapter, and within that chapter it gives you a first section, and within that section it gives you some extra pages, an extra page. This is how we lay it out. Each chapter has all these pages within it, and this is what we can scroll through on the iPad. So what I really want to do at the start is either here or over here, you can change the name of the chapter. So I might want to do Roles of the Lion, because that's what I'm researching. So this is what my chapter is going to be about. In the first section, I might say that it's roles in the family. And I'm talking about that. But that's not all I want to talk about. I want to add a new section about roles for food. So when I do that, I just simply go add pages up the top here, the plus sign, and it's asking me if I want to add another chapter. And in that chapter you have certain things. You can have a preface or a chapter. Section, you could have a section. You can even have a copyright page. At the start of your book you might have a dedication. Or I can just simply put in a new lot of pages. It could be blank, 1 column, 2, 3. So I want to put another section in. I'm adding that. You'll notice it's the exact same layout as my first section. And I'll call this one Roles for Feeding. And I'll keep writing about that, and I'll put some more pages in. So let's add an extra page. I'll have it as a 3-column page this time. And you notice it doesn't actually fill it with text, but it's already put the 3 columns for me. So as soon as I start pasting text in, it's going to format to 3 columns. Right. This is how the book works. So if I've got past this section and I've filled out chapter 1, I can then go add pages. I want a new chapter. And this is chapter 2. So now I might talk about the habitat of the lion. And if I wanted to move this around, it's just like on iWeb, etc. You can drag and drop and change the order of them. But up the top here, you also have a book title. And this is what the front cover is. So if I wanted to actually play around with the front cover and put a really cool image there as my front one, there we go. I wanted to change the book title. I'm going to call it play on words, lying around. Okay, there we go. So when you're actually on the iPad on the bookshelf, this is the cover you're going to see on the shelf. And when you click on it, it's going to open up and come to my chapter. You also have a table of contents though, and you might want to play around with that, give that some nice pictures. Now, the thing you can't change is that it's a table of contents for each chapter, and you can't actually change this here. So, well, I don't recommend you do, because it automatically comes over here. So if I actually changed the heading of my chapter to the roles of the lion, roles of lions, and I go back to my table of contents, it's actually, hasn't updated. It will update, don't worry. It needs to refresh. You can actually put some media at the start, so if you had a movie or an image, you could put it in there. So if I wanted to actually start with a huge picture, I could do that. And that will actually be when you open the book up, that's what you're going to see first. Then it will go to your chapter. Okay, and you can actually do a glossary where you're adding things in. We won't touch on that just yet. Boys, this is the basic format. Okay, so if you're able to make a book this way, putting in your own text, putting in your own images, that's perfectly fine. Part 4, I'm going to show you something even trickier, and that's how to start putting in things like widgets to do your own really animated interactive text. See you there.